everyone. Today we're going to look at a way to play scales and positions in a more creative way, and that involves playing arpeggios. Those of you who like jazz guitar know that a lot of improvisation in jazz music is based on the arpeggios of the chords, and because they have usually very extensive chords with 5, 6, 7 notes, and that way, imagine an arpeggio of 7 notes fills up a whole scale of 7 notes, right? So the way they play arpeggios is kind of a crossing between simple arpeggios and full scales. But if they have a C major 7th chord, they might actually, instead of just playing a C major scale on top of it, they will just play maybe those 4 notes: C, E, G, B. Okay, and so if you have a chord that's maybe an 11th chord or something like that with 5 or 6 notes, then your scale is, playing the arpeggio doesn't really limit you. You have a lot of notes available. So in rock music, you usually have simpler chords because of the kind of sound that you use. It's a lot of distortion. If you put a lot of alterations to the chord or extensions, you can't really hear all the notes. It becomes a big mess. That doesn't mean though that you can't use the sound of these chords, because you can't just layer it. So the bass can play something, and maybe the rhythm guitar play a triad or something like that, and then your lead guitar can add those little notes. They make they give the chord a particular sound. So let's say you're playing, for example, in a Lydian mode, then you might not be able to play a chord like this with distortion, right? But you might have actually the bass player play a C, and the guitar player play a triad, maybe even a minor chord, a major chord, and you can use these notes. And you give the impression of the Lydian mode. There's a way that kind of allows you to play more in a chord-like manner, and that's using arpeggios. So the idea is you learn an arpeggio, and you should actually learn a lot of them, but today for time reasons we just study one of them, and apply the same rules that apply to the major arpeggio that we're going to use today to play as many notes of the arpeggio as you like. That depends, of course, on the chord that your arpeggio is based on. So let's have a quick look at basic C major arpeggio form. For those of you who don't know it, fifth string, we have fret 3, fret 7, and then we go 5, 5, 5, and then we end with 3, 8, G, C. Okay, so here's the arpeggio. Don't worry about playing fast for now, we're just listening to the sound. So we're just playing a triad, C, E, G, C, E, G, C. Okay? That's of course a major chord. So if you have a rhythm in C, you can play this on top and it sounds like C major. Now, what we're trying to do now is actually do something a bit more complicated and more complex. And so let's take a chord that's a bit more complicated than a C major. Let's just add one more note, and let's make it a C major 7th chord. And here's your arpeggio. So what you do is just figure out what's the difference between a C major chord and a C major 7th chord, and just apply it to your arpeggio. So the difference is that the C major 7th chord has the same notes as a C major chord plus a B, that's the major 7th of C. If this sounds like Chinese to you, then look it up in a theory book, or you really should have the intervals of the major scale perfectly clear. So B is the major 7th of C, and so here it is. We play the same arpeggio, C, E, G, but now before we hit C again, we're gonna play that B, that's a major 7th, C, G, E, G, B, C. So here's your new arpeggio: 3, 7, 5, 4, 5, 5, 7, 8. And now, we can just keep going like that. You should do it just for now with the simple chords. Just use natural notes. For example, I don't know, do a C suspended fourth chord, which is instead of C, E, G, it's C, F, G, and just take your E's and move them up 1/2 step, or change strings. So in this case, I'll just move it up. 3, instead of E, I'm playing an F on 8, G, C, F, right, so these arpeggios neither minor nor major, it's a suspended fourth. You just keep going like that. For those of you who are a bit more advanced, here's a little tip to give direction. Study with all the modes. You know that each mode has a chord that is, you know, typical of that mode, and it really includes in its sound the full mode. So do it with an arpeggio. Let's take, for example, Lydian. A great chord for the Lydian mode, it would probably be the major 7th sharp 11th chord. And so in C, that would be C, E, G, that's your major triad, plus a B, which is your major 7th, plus an F sharp, which is your sharp 11th. Okay, and that F sharp is actually the mode of the Lydian scale. Okay, this F sharp is what makes the scale Lydian instead of major. Okay, so you just do it like that, you just keep going C, E, F sharp, G, B, C, E, F sharp, G, C, B, C. And this is your arpeggio. Right, so one last thing is the more notes you add to the arpeggio, the closer it gets to a scale. Alright, so if we're using already 5 notes here, and out of a scale of 7, that's pretty much the whole scale. And so the way you finger these arpeggios will break out of the old the old fingerings for the arpeggios, and will kind of blend with the regular fingering of a scale. So that way you can just be creative with your finger positions, the pick direction and all that. So the more notes you have, the grayer the area between just playing arpeggios and playing scales. Here's a quick example. In the same arpeggio, major 7th, sharp 11, instead of playing like this, you can just play almost like a scale. So if I throw in a few notes, you see how close it is to the actual Lydian scale. It starts to look a lot more similar because we're using so many notes on the scale. Alright, so next week we're gonna probably just expand a bit on this and see a few applications, maybe how to mix chords and arpeggios and scales a bit more. But for now you just have, you know, a lot of work just figuring out all the chords that you know and playing them in an arpeggio form. Don't forget, here's a C major arpeggio, here's another one, and here's another one. So there's a lot of them. And you can just, here's another one. The small ones are just 3 notes, right? So you can just, that one, okay? So you can just do it with all the arpeggios that you know. 3 strings, 4 strings, 5 strings, 6 strings. Okay? And I hope this is useful. And if it's if you find any difficulty, just leave a message on these on the YouTube channel, or send me an email, or just wait for next week, and we'll do a bit more of this. All right? Thanks a lot. Bye bye.